Now, your Super Doppler 10 forecast from meteorologist Jeremy Wheeler.
Today, that big story when it comes to the weather is instead of falling snow, frigid cold. And Jeremy, these low temperatures aren't going anywhere.
No, I mean, it could be around for the weekend, which means there might not be much melting for the weekend. The good thing is we got some sunshine. That can still melt things, but then it can refreeze tonight. So that's a problem that I'll be talking about. Speaking of roads and runways, here's the view at Norfolk International Airport. You know, they've done a good job at clearing this area. They're still working on it, and they made a lot of progress, as you can see. And they're going to continue this, so hopefully planes start coming and going here later today, or at least by tomorrow. But that's Norfolk International Airport. Now, here was the system yesterday. Yesterday we had a big mess. We had lots of snow in the area, of course. This giant area of low pressure, it was a monster. I mean, it was a huge storm, but it was offshore the entire time. It just kept throwing that moisture back to the west, even though it was 300 plus miles away. Around 12:30 in the afternoon, we had snow here. You can see all that snow in the northeast states. Now it's up in the Canadian Maritimes. It is still a monster area low pressure, but we have high pressure building in, and that's one of the reasons why there's so much of a wind and breeze, because that high is actually building in while the low is holding steady now, and the difference between the pressures is causing that breeze. Now, we did have quite a bit of snow in the region, had some totals, most of these from the National Weather Service. So Great Bridge around 11 inches, Ghent 8.5, we had Williamsburg 7.2 inches and 6.5 inches, Edenton, Matthews. Now, here's Hampton, 11 inches. I think that was around Langley. Western Branch 10 inches, Machapungo 6, Kempsville 6, but I saw higher amounts a little bit more to the northwest of that reading, lower amounts to the east of there. So it varied widely. And then Yorktown 4 inches. It varied even within your yard probably. You had some spots where it was almost of a foot in the drift. You go over there and there's a little bit of grass showing. So those drifts, they were all over the place. That strong wind caused that. So that happened yesterday. So today, be careful. A lot of the main roads are pretty good overall, but just go slow. And then the secondaries, we still got that patchwork of ice, snow, black ice, and salt. And there might be some melting, but then by this evening, that's going to start to refreeze. And you'll see things like this where you can't tell, is that ice, black ice, salty areas, because that salty area shows up a little bit bright. So just keep that in mind, and there's still lots of drifts out there from yesterday in the neighborhoods too. Super Doppler 10, we are dry. We're going to stay dry for today in the forecast. We'll have a lot of sunshine. Temperatures this afternoon going to top off in the mid to upper 20s, maybe 1 or 2 30s in North Carolina, but most of us going to stay in the 20s. And then going into 6 o'clock, temperatures already start falling into the teens and low 20s. Now we go into the overnight, into tomorrow. Now our computer model updated the temps, and I agree with this, that there's going to be single digits inland. I think even colder than you see here. And Norfolk, close to 10. I've got 10 degrees for the low. That will tie the record if we get there. Set back in 1924. Through the day tomorrow, we're going to have a lot of sunshine. I mean, you see hardly any clouds here, but the temperatures only topping off in the 20s. I think we'll get to the mid-20s, low 20s north of the metro. Another cold day, and then temperatures start falling again. Saturday evening, temperatures falling into the teens already by 8 o'clock. We'll probably be back in the single digits inland. So we get some minor melt today. The sun can still cause that. And where you put down the salt, that'll melt. But, the salt only works to a certain temperature. After that, you get below that, it'll refreeze. So there's going to be refreezing tonight. Freezing pipes, we got such cold temperatures in the metro that if you haven't slow dripped your faucets up to this point, you might have to tonight. Negative wind chills tonight into Saturday morning. Now today, the wind chills will be in the teens. Temperatures, upper 20s in Killable Hills, 30 in Currituck, but most of us 20s. Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Portsmouth, up mid to upper 20s, 29 in Chesapeake, 27 Suffolk, lots of sunshine, dry, cold, and breezy. We got the winds out of the west-northwest, 10 to 20 miles an hour, gust to 25. Highs in the mid-20s in Melfa, Kilmarnock, Gloucester, mid to upper 20s in Hampton, Newport News, and in Williamsburg. Tomorrow, we start off around 10. We end up in the mid-20s. Not much melting tomorrow. I'm going a little bit warmer than the models on Sunday, 30. I think we're going to get a chance to warm up. I'm not going much warmer, but, we get to 30 degrees, then we might get a little bit of melting. But if not, we might still see some trouble for the kids going back to school on Monday.